Ashish Chauhan of the Bombay Stock Exchange for hosting us. And they've always welcomed the collaborating chambers in this August. This used to be the noisiest room in the world till it went electronic. A few months ago, I got a call from a person I'd never met. And he's that person here, Atul, Bhide. And he said that he wanted to do an audio book on Dr. Kurien. And the audio book, as you all know, is not a very familiar phenomenon here. And so I asked him a few questions and, both of them, have you done any audiobooks before? He said no. And so I smiled and then I requested if I could meet him. And until we met, I asked myself, how would Dr. Kurien react to a person like this? And the important thing, lesson I've learned, having worked with Dr. Kurien since 1978, and still very close to him. Unfortunately, he's not able to be here with us, but as I mentioned, two very close family members have come here personally, despite his illness. So I had a good look at this gentleman, Atul Bhide. He had sincerity in his eyes, he had commitment, and he had the will to do it. So I said, all right. The reason why, of course, he came, he contacted me is that I was very closely involved in the biography of Dr. Kurien's book, the one is I Too Had a Dream, and therefore we worked very closely and it's been a pleasure. Atul, ladies and gentlemen, is the first generation entrepreneur who has fought all odds through his life to do what he has always believed should be done. To give an example, twice a year he donates his blood. And that's the kind of spirit of commitment. And when he told me that, that's when I immediately realized this is a man who we can trust, and he has really lived up to our trust. He's a co-founder of Wordsworth Club, a book lovers club in Thane, and he's the incoming president of the Rotary Club of Thane Hills. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Atul Bhide.
Respected Mr. Murthy, Mr. Ashish Chauhan, Editor Saab, and my dear friend Mr. Pereira, friend, guide, philosopher, everything. Ms. Nirmalaji, dignitaries, friends. I don't want India to be a rich country. I want India to be a happy country. J.R.D. told once to a journalist, when I read this 20 years ago, I was confused with his comment, because I always believed that what we Indians lacked were the material comforts of the Western world. I thought we already have the right values, a strong culture, we are ethical and sincere with our work. So all we need is to have a good amount of money, and then happiness would be the natural outcome. I was 25 years. 20 years later, as I speak to you, things have changed. Instant material gratification fuels our youth. Fastest, quickest, shortest are the key words in their definition of success. Long-term commitment, integrity, endurance, and a larger perspective are no more a part of their vocabulary. I Too Had a Dream by Dr. Verghese is a story that can turn the table. This is a story of post-independence India, of a man who spurned the lure of material wealth and devoted his entire life to service of his countrymen. Importantly, it tells us of a man's courage to choose the undertrodden path. It shows how instead of blaming the government for its inadequacies, he reposed faith in the ability of India's people, the power of people, to find the practical solutions to their own problems. Dr. Kurien provides a fantastic role model for India's youth. And this is not just the story of Dr. Kurien, but it's a tribute to industrious farmers of Gujarat who recognize the potential of truly Indian professional. It showcases to the world India's success in empowerment of marginalized section of the society. This story tells the world that an ordinary farmer can achieve if provided the right leadership. As I got immersed in the pages of I Too Had a Dream, I was astounded by the life of Dr. Kurien. His life amply shows that if we choose to look a little beyond ourselves and see the larger picture, work for a cause in whatever little way we can, it will make us happy from within. I was convinced that I Too Had a Dream deserves a younger and bigger audience. The conviction was reinforced when I met Dr. Kurien in person. That was 19 May 2011. I knew I could not rest till I had done my bit. Knowing this generation's insatiable appetite for new media formats, we decided to come out with an audiobook of I Too Had a Dream. This entire journey from initiation to final release of this audiobook has brought me a level of joy and satisfaction that is unmatched even by my career as a successful entrepreneur. Along this journey, I met highly talented people whose company has enriched my life. I spent quality time with people that I could not even have dreamt of meeting them. All this was possible only because I decided to look beyond myself, even suspending logics at times to go with my heart. And before I end, let me add a few words about the title. Contemporary economists and writers have likened India to an elephant, with its immense girth, its ponderous gait, and its infinite patience. But for me, it is an apt metaphor for representing India's gigantic strength that remained latent until a product into motion by an able mahout. Friends, this is the story of the man who made the elephant dance. Thank you.
We'd now like to invite Nirmala, Siddharth and Sylvie to please join us on stage for the release of the book. And we request Mr. Narayana Murthy to kindly do the honors. Yeah. Thank you very much. Nirmala, you're not going away. We're going to ask you to say a few words on behalf of your dear beloved father.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Narayana Murthy, Chairman Emeritus Infosys Limited, Mr. Roger Pereira, the convener, the collaborating chambers, Mr. Atul Bhide, Om Audiobooks, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to witness the launch of the man who made the elephant dance, the authorized audio book of my father's biography, I Too Had a Dream, at the hands of Mr. Narayana Murthy. The print version of the book is already available in several regional languages. However, it is a wonderful idea to launch this book in the audio format, as it is likely to cater to the younger generation. I thank Mr. Murthy for blessing this event and launching the audiobook. I must also thank Mr. Bhide for taking the initiative to do so. He has been working so hard for the last several months for making this project a success. I am also aware that Mr. Roger Pereira has been the guiding force behind the scenes. I take this opportunity to thank the collaborating chambers and the Bombay Stock Exchange for hosting this event. Needless to say that my father would have been very happy to be present, but for his old age. He conveys his best and thanks you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nirmala. Atul, you're now going to present some citations. Citations to Mr. Narayana Murthy.
Oh, no. In the left.
And Mr. Ashish Chauhan would also like to present mementos to Mr. Narayana Murthy, to Atul. Could we have the BSc mementos presented also? Exchange. Atul. Tom. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tom of time. How do you present excerpts from an audiobook? Stay in your seats, and that's what you're going to have in the next few seconds.
This magnitude be flagged off by another title from a business house that is synonymous with patriotism, ethics and trusteeship. The helmsman of Tata Sons, Shri Ratan Tata.
India has been immensely fortunate to have in its midst a selfless, committed and self-effacing nationalist like Dr. Verghese Kurien, who has been able to dedicate his working life to improving the quality of life and health of millions of citizens of the poorest segment of India's population and transforming them into productive members of society. This memoir allows us to have a fascinating view of the challenges, achievements and frustrations of Dr. Kurien's full and colorful life. The cooperatives he created have also been powerful agents of social change in empowering women and in embedding democracy at the grassroots level in the country. His memoirs reveal the experience and inner feelings of a great nationalist who has made an enormous contribution to the development of rural India and who will leave his mark long into the future. The book should provide inspiration to many, that they should do something for their country. Dr. Kurien's involvement with dairy engineering was a twist of fate. He would normally have pursued a career in science or engineering. What he therefore did in the dairy industry in India is truly amazing. One cannot help but wonder what India would be today if we had 1,000 Dr. Kuriens with this type of vision and with similar commitment, dedication, and national spirit.
It was Friday, 13th May 1949 when the train from Bombay pulled into the ramshackle station at Anand. There till this evening was none other than Kodandapani, looking quite pleased with himself since he could now return to Bangalore. Accompanying him was the elderly, friendly caretaker of the government research creamery, known to all as Barodkak. They escorted me to my new office at the creamery, which was then being run by the NDRI. Kodandapani very considerately warned me not to take charge on that day, as Friday the 13th is considered an unlucky day. He advised me to wait for a day. No, I said, I don't like what I see here. Let me take charge today and allow things to go wrong. I'm not interested in staying here too long. In 1949, Anand had a population of approximately 10,000 people. It was the antithesis of my life in New York, which I had then just left behind. New York was bustling and busy. Anand was dull.